Have you ever had someone smile at you while simultaneously threatening your entire future? That's exactly what happened to me at my own wedding reception in Portland, Maine, 3 years ago. My name is Rebecca Martinez, and I'm about to tell you the most insane story about how my husband's mother nearly ended my son's life, and how she almost got away with it. Picture this. It's June 15th, 2022. I'm 29 years old, wearing the most beautiful ivory lace gown you've ever seen, and I've just married the love of my life, Marcus Chen. The reception hall is decorated with cascading white orchids and fairy lights. About 180 guests are celebrating with us. Everything is absolutely perfect. Or so I thought. I'm standing by the champagne fountain, just taking a moment to breathe it all in, when I notice a woman approaching me. She's wearing what I can only describe as a wedding dress in disguise, a cream-colored beaded gown with a cathedral-length train. At first, I think maybe she's confused about the dress code. Then I realize who she is. Patricia Chen, my new mother-in-law, age 63, retired real estate agent from Boston, and, as I would soon discover, an absolute nightmare. "Rebecca," she says, not bothering with a hello or congratulations. Her voice is cold, clipped, like she's already annoyed with me. "I need you to understand something right now." I turn to face her fully, trying to maintain my wedding day smile. "Of course, Patricia. What is it?" She steps closer, close enough that I can smell her overpowering Chanel No. 5 perfume. "Marcus has been mine for 35 years. You've known him for what? 2.5 years? You'll never understand him the way I do. You'll never know his history, his habits, his needs." I actually laugh, thinking she's making some kind of awkward joke. But when I look at her face, her brown eyes are narrowed into slits, her jaw is clenched, and there's not even a hint of humor there. Patricia, I appreciate that you raised Marcus and know him well," I stammer, completely thrown off. "I'm sure I have a lot to learn, and I'd love for you to share stories with me." "Stories." She practically spits the word. "This isn't about stories, dear. This is about reality. Marcus will always choose me over you, always. And if you think you can change that, you're delusional." Before I can respond, she turns on her heel and walks away, her train sweeping behind her like she's royalty. I stand there frozen, champagne glass trembling in my hand, wondering what the hell just happened. Marcus finds me a few minutes later. He immediately knows something's wrong. "Becca, what happened? You look like you've seen a ghost." I tell him about the conversation, watching his face shift from confusion to anger to embarrassment. "Mom said that? On our wedding day?" "Word for word," I confirm. He runs his hand through his black hair. A habit I've learned means he's stressed. "I'm so sorry. I knew she could be protective, but that's completely out of line. Do you want me to say something to her?" I look across the reception hall and see Patricia chatting with other guests, laughing and smiling like she's the epitome of a proud mother. "No," I say finally, "I don't want our wedding day to become about her. Let's just deal with it later." Marcus pulls me into a hug. "I love you. You know that, right? Whatever weird stuff my mom has going on, it doesn't change anything between us." I hug him back, breathing in his familiar cedar cologne. "I love you too." But here's the thing, I should have listened to that warning. I should have recognized it for what it was, a declaration of war. You see, I lost my own parents when I was 24. My dad, Antonio, died of a heart attack at 67, and my mom, Susan, passed from breast cancer just 8 months later at 65. I was an only child, so when they died, I was suddenly completely alone in the world. No siblings, no aunts or uncles, no grandparents, just me. So when Marcus and I started talking about having kids, I became obsessed with this idea that our future children should have a grandmother. I thought Patricia could fill that void, not just for my kids, but for me too. I wanted so badly to have family again, to belong to something bigger than just Marcus and me. That hope made me ignore every red flag, every passive-aggressive comment, every boundary violation, every time she forgot something I'd asked her not to do. And it almost cost me everything. Fast forward 16 months to October 2023. I'm 31 years old now, and Marcus and I have a 7-month-old son named Tyler. Tyler Marcus Chen, born March 8, 2023, at 3:47 a.m. after 22 hours of labor. 7 pounds, 4 ounces of absolute perfection. From the moment Tyler was born, I knew I'd do anything to protect him. Anything. We live in a small 3-bedroom house in Scarborough, just outside Portland. Marcus works as a software engineer for a cybersecurity company, making around $95,000 a year, which allows me to stay home with Tyler. It's exactly the life I'd dreamed of. Tyler is the most beautiful baby you've ever seen. He has Marcus's black hair and my hazel eyes, with these adorable chubby cheeks that everyone wants to pinch. He's just started sitting up on his own and loves to grab at everything within reach. But something's been wrong. Tyler has eczema. Bad eczema. His skin is constantly covered in red, angry patches that make him cry and scratch until he bleeds. We've tried every cream, every gentle soap, every fancy organic product on the market. Nothing helps. On October 12, 2023, we have an appointment with Dr. Stephanie Winters, a pediatric allergist at Maine Medical Center. Tyler is 7 months and 4 days old. Dr. Winters is a woman in her late 40s with kind gray eyes and short silver hair. She examines Tyler thoroughly, asking us dozens of questions about his symptoms, his diet, when the rashes started, what seems to make them better or worse. "I'd like to run an allergy panel," she says finally. "Based on what you're describing and what I'm seeing, I suspect Tyler might have some food allergies that are causing these skin reactions." Food allergies?" Marcus asks, holding Tyler on his lap. "But he's only had breast milk and a little bit of rice cereal." "Breast milk can contain traces of foods you're eating, Rebecca," Dr. Winters explains, "and sometimes that's enough to cause reactions in sensitive babies." The testing takes about 30 minutes. They do a skin prick test on Tyler's back with various common allergens. I hold his hands and sing to him while he cries, my heart breaking with every sob. When the results come in, Dr. Winters' expression is serious. Tyler has tested positive for several allergies: dairy, eggs, soy. She pauses, looking at us over her glasses. And tree nuts. The tree nut allergy is particularly severe. His reaction was one of the strongest I've seen. My stomach drops. "How severe are we talking?" "Potentially life-threatening," she says bluntly. Tree nuts, almonds, cashews, walnuts, hazelnuts, all of them could cause anaphylaxis. That means his airways could close up, his blood pressure could drop dangerously low, he could go into shock. Without immediate treatment with epinephrine, it could be fatal. Marcus's face has gone completely white. I feel like I can't breathe. Dr. Winters continues, her tone gentler now. "I'm prescribing 2 EpiPens. You need to have one with you at all times. I'm also going to teach you how to use them. Most allergic reactions happen within minutes of exposure, so time is absolutely critical." She walks us through everything. How to recognize the signs of an allergic reaction: hives, swelling, vomiting, difficulty breathing, loss of consciousness, how to administer the EpiPen, remove the blue safety cap, press the orange tip firmly against the outer thigh until it clicks, hold for 3 seconds, massage the area, call 911 immediately. Even if the EpiPen works and Tyler seems better, you still need to get to a hospital, she emphasizes. Sometimes there's a second wave of reactions that can happen hours later. We leave the appointment with a folder full of information, 2 EpiPens in a bright orange case, and a prescription for hydrocortisone cream that might help with the eczema. I feel like my entire world has shifted on its axis. That night, after Tyler is asleep in his crib, Marcus and I sit at our kitchen table going through everything Dr. Winters gave us. There are lists of foods to avoid, ingredients to watch out for, guidelines for introducing new foods, emergency action plans. This is overwhelming, I say, tears starting to form. What if I mess up? What if I accidentally give him something that could hurt him? Marcus takes my hand. We'll be careful. We'll check everything twice, 3 times. We'll keep him safe, Becca. I need to call Patricia, I say suddenly. She needs to know about this. She watches Tyler sometimes when I need to run errands. Marcus nods slowly. Yeah, you're right, but... He hesitates. Maybe we should both tell her together? I want to make sure she understands how serious this is. So we call Patricia together on speakerphone. It's 8:30 p.m. Patricia, it's Marcus and Rebecca. Marcus starts when she answers. We need to talk to you about Tyler. What's wrong? Is my grandson okay? Her voice is sharp with concern. He's fine right now, I assure her, but we found out today that he has some severe allergies. Tree nuts especially. It could be life-threatening if he's exposed to them. There's a pause on the other end of the line. Then, are you sure? What do you mean, am I sure? I ask, confused. The allergist confirmed it. He had a strong reaction to the test. Rebecca, Patricia says, and I can hear the condescension dripping from her voice. I raised 3 children. Not one of them had allergies. Do you know why? Because I didn't coddle them. I let their immune systems develop naturally. Marcus cuts in. Mom, this isn't about coddling. This is a legitimate medical diagnosis from a board-certified allergist. These doctors today, Patricia scoffs, they diagnose every little thing as an allergy or a disorder. Back in my day, we didn't have all these problems because we didn't go looking for them. I feel my blood pressure rising. Patricia, this is serious. If Tyler is exposed to tree nuts, he could die. Oh, don't be so dramatic, Rebecca. A little exposure to nuts isn't going to hurt him. It might even help build up his tolerance. That's not how severe allergies work. I'm practically shouting now. The allergist specifically said, I think you're being paranoid. Patricia interrupts. But fine, I'll be careful around your precious Tyler. The way she says it makes it clear she doesn't believe any of this is real. After we hang up, Marcus and I look at each other. She doesn't believe us, I say flatly. I'll talk to her again, Marcus promises. I'll make her understand. But as I'm putting away the allergy information that night, I have this terrible sinking feeling in my stomach. A voice in my head whispers, she's going to hurt him. I should have listened to that voice too. The first incident happens 3 weeks later on November 2nd, 2023. Tyler is now 7 months and 25 days old. I need to go to the dentist for a cleaning I've been putting off. Marcus is at work. They have a big product launch and he can't take time off. So, despite my reservations, I ask Patricia to watch Tyler for 2 hours. Before I leave, I go over everything with her. I mean everything. I show her where the EpiPens are stored, in a bright orange case in the diaper bag and another one in the kitchen drawer. I explain the signs of an allergic reaction again. I leave her a printed list of safe foods and foods to avoid. Patricia, this is really important, I say, holding the EpiPen case. Tree nuts are deadly for Tyler. That means no almond milk, no peanut butter. Peanuts aren't tree nuts, she interrupts smugly. You're right, but tree nut allergies and peanut allergies often go together, and Dr. Winters said to avoid both for now until we can get Tyler tested again next month. Please, Patricia, no nuts of any kind. She waves her hand dismissively. Yes, I understand. Go to your dentist appointment. I hesitate at the door. Something feels wrong, but I'm already 15 minutes late and I can't cancel again without losing my appointment slot. The cleaning takes exactly 87 minutes. When I pull back into my driveway at 3:47 p.m., I see Patricia's silver Lexus still parked in front. I walk in through the front door and freeze. Tyler is in his high chair. His face and hands are red and covered in hives. He's whimpering and scratching at his cheeks, which are starting to swell. What did you give him? I scream, running to him. Patricia is calmly washing dishes at the sink like nothing is wrong. Oh, he's fine. Just a little fussy. I gave him some of my granola bar earlier. Granola bar? I'm already grabbing the EpiPen from the diaper bag, my hands shaking so badly I can barely hold it. What was in it? I don't know, oats and honey and... I spot the wrapper on the counter and grab it. There, in the ingredient list, almonds, cashews, pecans. You gave him tree nuts. I pull off Tyler's pants. His thighs are breaking out in hives too. Call 911, now. I've removed the blue safety cap. I'm pressing the orange tip against Tyler's outer thigh. Click. 1, 2, 3. I massage the injection site. Tyler is crying harder now, confused and scared. Patricia is just standing there. Rebecca, you're being ridiculous. He just has a little rash. Get out! I roar at her while grabbing my phone to call 911 myself. Get out of my house right now! The next 40 minutes are a blur. The ambulance arrives. The paramedics confirm I did the right thing using the EpiPen. Tyler's symptoms start to improve during the ride to the hospital, but they keep him for observation for 6 hours. His allergic reaction was classified as grade 3, severe, in the medical records. Marcus leaves work immediately and meets us at the hospital. When I tell him what happened, he goes absolutely silent. That scary kind of silent where you know someone is about to explode. He calls his mother from the hospital parking lot. I can hear him through the window of Tyler's room, even though I can't make out the words. The conversation lasts maybe 2 minutes before he hangs up. When he comes back in, his face is set in stone. "She's cut off," he says, "completely. No visits, no phone calls, nothing. She almost killed our son." I'm crying so hard I can barely speak. "She gave it to him on purpose, Marcus. She doesn't believe he's allergic. She told me I was being dramatic." "I know," he says, wrapping his arms around me. "I know, baby. She's never getting near Tyler again, I promise." We take Tyler home that night around 11 p.m. He's exhausted and clingy, not wanting to be put down. I hold him all night, dozing in the rocking chair in his nursery, too afraid to let him out of my sight. The next morning, I wake up to 17 missed calls from Patricia and a dozen text messages. "Marcus, you're overreacting. It was an accident. I didn't realize he was that allergic. You can't keep me from my grandson over this. Rebecca is poisoning your mind against me. I have rights as a grandmother." Marcus blocks her number on both our phones. For about 2 weeks, things are quiet. Too quiet. I'm constantly on edge, jumping at every sound, checking the locks multiple times before bed. Marcus starts working from home more often, so I'm not alone with Tyler. Then, on November 18th, 2023, I take Tyler to his 8-month checkup with his regular pediatrician, Dr. Robert Yang. The waiting room is full of other parents with babies and toddlers. I'm sitting there bouncing Tyler on my knee when I notice someone across the room staring at me. It's Vanessa Hartford, one of the moms from my prenatal class. Our babies were born just 2 weeks apart. I smile and wave, expecting her to come over and chat like she usually does. Instead, she grabs her baby, gets up, and moves to a seat on the opposite side of the room. I'm confused, but figure maybe she didn't see me. But then another mom I recognize, Jennifer Torres, whose daughter is in a baby music class with Tyler, comes in, sees me, and does the same thing. She literally turns around and sits as far from me as possible. When Dr. Yang calls us back for Tyler's appointment, the medical assistant, Carla, is cold and short with me. Usually she's chatty and warm, asking how Tyler is doing, complimenting how big he's gotten. Today she barely makes eye contact. Is everything okay, Carla?" I ask as she's weighing Tyler. "Fine," she says curtly. "Dr. Yang will be in shortly." And she leaves the room faster than I've ever seen her move. Dr. Yang comes in a few minutes later. He examines Tyler thoroughly, checking his ears, listening to his heart and lungs, measuring his head circumference, reviewing his developmental milestones. Everything checks out perfectly. Tyler is in the 75th percentile for height and 68th percentile for weight, right on track developmentally. But Dr. Yang seems uncomfortable. He keeps glancing at his computer screen and then at me, like he wants to say something but isn't sure how. Finally, at the end of the appointment, he clears his throat. "Rebecca, I need to ask you something, and please understand I'm required by law to ask. Has anyone from Child Protective Services contacted you recently?" My blood runs cold. "No." "Why would they?" He looks genuinely uncomfortable now. "I received a call yesterday from a CPS caseworker asking about Tyler's medical history. Apparently, someone filed a report claiming you were neglecting his medical needs and that he was being exposed to dangerous allergens." I feel like I'm going to throw up. That's not true. We're extremely careful. His grandmother gave him nuts and we had to use an EpiPen and take him to the emergency room. We've cut her off because of it. Dr. Yang holds up his hand. I told them exactly that. I have the ER report in my system, and I explained that you responded appropriately to the emergency, and that you've been an exemplary parent in managing Tyler's allergies. I also told them about your mother-in-law's visit that triggered the reaction. So, CPS isn't coming? I don't think so, he says carefully. The caseworker seemed satisfied with my report, but Rebecca, whoever filed this report, painted a very different picture. They claimed you were the one who gave Tyler allergens, that you were attention-seeking, and that multiple incidents had occurred. Multiple incidents? I'm nearly shouting now. There was one incident, and it was because Marcus's mother deliberately gave him something she knew he was allergic to. I believe you, Dr. Yang says gently, and I documented everything in my official report, but I wanted you to know someone out there is trying to make you look like a bad parent. I already know who that someone is. When I get home, I call Marcus immediately. He leaves work early again, and we spend the afternoon calling lawyers to find out what our rights are. The lawyer we consult with, Diana Rodriguez, is sympathetic but realistic. The good news is that you have extensive medical documentation supporting your version of events, she says during our phone consultation. The bad news is that anyone can file a CPS report, and each one has to be investigated to some degree. Your MIL could keep filing reports anonymously. She can do this repeatedly? Marcus asks, his voice tight with anger. Unfortunately, yes. The system is designed to err on the side of caution when it comes to children. Even false reports have to be taken seriously initially. So what do? I ask. Document everything, Diana advises. Keep detailed records of Tyler's care, his allergies, how you manage them. Save any communications with your MIL. If CPS does visit, be cooperative, but you also have rights. You don't have to let them search your home without a warrant or a court order, though refusing might make you look suspicious. It's a delicate balance. After we hang up, Marcus and I look at each other, both feeling completely helpless. She's not going to stop, I say. Your mother is trying to take Tyler away from us. Marcus's jaw clenches. Then we fight. Whatever it takes, we protect our son. That night, I create a binder. I call it Tyler's Allergy Documentation. I print out copies of Dr. Winters's diagnosis, the ER report from the almond incident, Dr. Yang's notes, the list of Tyler's safe and unsafe foods, photos of the EpiPens and where we store them, pictures of how we organize our pantry to keep allergens on the highest shelves, everything. I also start a journal, documenting every single day what Tyler eats, what activities we do, any skin reactions he has, how we treat them, everything. If CPS does come, I want to have proof that we're not just good parents. We're exceptional parents doing everything possible to keep our son safe. But Patricia isn't done, not even close. 3 days later, on November 21st, I receive a Facebook friend request from someone named Jennifer Maxwell. The profile picture is of a golden retriever puppy. No personal information is visible. I almost ignore it, but something makes me accept the request. Within minutes, Jennifer messages me. Hi, Rebecca. I heard about your situation with Tyler's allergies. I have a son with severe food allergies, too. Would love to connect and share experiences. We message back and forth for about an hour. She asks detailed questions about Tyler's allergies, what we feed him, how we manage his eczema, whether we've tried this cream or that supplement. She seems genuinely interested and knowledgeable. Then she asks, do you give Tyler any tree nut products to help him build immunity? I've read some studies about early exposure preventing allergies. Red flags start going off in my head. No, absolutely not. I type back. His allergist specifically said that's dangerous. Tree nut allergies don't work like that. Exposure could kill him. Oh, I thought I read your mail was helping with that. Building his tolerance? And that's when I know. This isn't some random mom. This is Patricia. Or someone Patricia put up to this. I screenshot the entire conversation and block Jennifer Maxwell. When I check her profile again from Marcus's account, I see that Jennifer is friends with Patricia's sister, Ellen Chen, and several of Patricia's friends from her book club. So she's creating fake accounts to spy on us. I tell Marcus, showing him the screenshots. She's trying to get information to use against us. Marcus looks disgusted. That's it. I'm calling a family meeting. My sister and my dad need to know what she's doing. The family meeting happens over Zoom the next day, November 22nd at 7 p.m. Present are Marcus's father, Donald Chen, age 67, Patricia's ex-husband, they divorced 8 years ago, Marcus's older sister, Lisa Chen Williams, age 39, married with 2 teenage kids, and Marcus's younger brother, Kevin Chen, age 32, single, lives in Seattle. Marcus lays out everything: the wedding confrontation, the almond incident, the CPS report, the fake Facebook profile. I provide documentation for all of it. The virtual room, goes silent. Finally, Donald speaks up. I'm not surprised, he says heavily. This is exactly why I divorced her. The need for control, the refusal to accept she might be wrong, the manipulation. I'm just sorry she's targeting Tyler now. She did the same thing to me, Lisa says quietly. When I first had Emma and Sophie, Mom would constantly undermine my parenting, tell the girls I was too strict, give them things I'd said they couldn't have. It got so bad that I didn't let her babysit alone for 3 years. Eventually, she backed off, but only because I threatened to cut her off completely. Kevin nods. She tried to sabotage my last relationship too, told my girlfriend I was still hung up on my ex, showed her fake text messages, completely made up stuff. We broke up over it. I didn't figure out it was Mom until years later. This is news to Marcus and me. We knew Patricia could be difficult, but we had no idea she had a pattern of this kind of behavior. So what do we do? I ask. Because I'm terrified she's going to hurt Tyler again, or worse, convince CPS we're bad parents and try to get custody. Can she even do that? Marcus asks. Get custody? Grandparent rights are a real thing, Donald says. He's a retired family law attorney, so he actually knows what he's talking about. In Maine, grandparents can petition for visitation rights, but usually only if there's an established relationship or if the parents are deemed unfit. Given what happened, I doubt any judge would grant Patricia visitation, but she could try. What about a restraining order? I suggest. You'd need to prove a pattern of harassment or a credible threat, Donald explains. The almond incident alone might not be enough, especially since she could claim it was an accident. The fake Facebook profile and the CPS report strengthen your case, but you'd need a lawyer to file properly. Then we get a lawyer, Marcus says firmly, whatever it costs. Our son's safety is worth it. We end the call with a plan. Marcus and I will consult with Diana Rodriguez again about filing for a restraining order. Lisa agrees to write a statement about her own experiences with Patricia. Donald offers to help us document everything from a legal perspective. Kevin says he'll keep an eye on Patricia's social media for any concerning posts about us or Tyler. For the first time in weeks, I feel like we're not alone in this fight. But Patricia, as it turns out, is just getting started. By early December 2023, Marcus and I make a difficult decision. I can't be Tyler's only caregiver anymore. I'm emotionally exhausted, jumping at every shadow, and I've developed anxiety that makes it hard to sleep. Our doctor recommends I see a therapist, and she prescribes a mild anti-anxiety medication. But to see a therapist, I need childcare, and there's no way I'm asking anyone in Marcus's family, not after everything with Patricia. We enroll Tyler in Little Sprouts Daycare in South Portland. It's a state-licensed facility with amazing reviews, a 4:1 child-to-teacher ratio for infants, and, most importantly, strict protocols for food allergies. They're nut-free facility-wide, and they require all parents to sign an acknowledgement of their allergy policies. Tyler starts on December 4th, 2023. He's 9 months old now. The transition is hard for both of us. Tyler cries when I drop him off the first few days, and I cry in my car for 20 minutes after leaving. But by the second week, he's settling in. His teacher, Miss Kelly Rogers, age 27, early childhood education degree, is patient and loving, and she takes his allergies seriously. I provide the daycare with a detailed allergy action plan that Dr. Winters helped me create. It includes photos of Tyler and descriptions of what he looks like normally. A list of all his allergens: tree nuts, peanuts, dairy, eggs, soy, signs and symptoms of allergic reactions to watch for. Step-by-step instructions for using an EpiPen. En français, dans un annonce de emergency contact information. Aster photos of safe foods and brands we send. I also provide 2 EpiPens to keep at the daycare, plus antihistamine liquid, cortisone cream for his eczema, and detailed instructions about hand washing before touching Tyler if anyone has been eating. Miss Kelly is wonderful about all of it. She even asks if she can do a training session with me to practice using the EpiPen trainer on a dummy. For 3 weeks, everything goes smoothly. Tyler is thriving. He's learning to clap and wave bye-bye. His eczema is better because we've eliminated dairy and eggs from his diet completely. He's happy. Then December 21st happens. The winter holiday celebration. Little Sprouts is having a special holiday event where parents can come during the day to celebrate with their kids. There will be songs, crafts, and snacks. The invitation specifically states, all snacks will be nut-free and allergy-friendly. I'm excited to attend. Marcus takes a long lunch to come too. We arrive at the daycare at 11:30 a.m., right when the celebration is starting. The infant room is decorated with paper snowflakes and handprint reindeer. There are about 12 babies total, with their parents and the 3 daycare teachers. Miss Kelly is leading everyone in a rendition of Jingle Bells with hand motions. Tyler is in my lap, clapping along, when I notice an older woman I don't recognize standing near the snack table. She's wearing a red sweater and has gray hair styled in a neat bob. She's talking to Miss Emily, one of the other infant teachers. Something about her looks familiar, but I can't place it until she turns her head slightly and I see her profile. It's Patricia. She's cut and dyed her hair, but it's definitely her. The same nose, the same way she holds her shoulders back like she's royalty. Marcus, I whisper urgently, grabbing his arm. Your mom is here. He follows my gaze and his face goes pale. What the hell? How did she even... Before he can finish, Patricia picks up a plate of cookies from the snack table and starts walking around, offering them to parents and children. I'm up in an instant. Tyler clutched to my chest. Marcus, those cookies? We don't know what's in them. He's already moving toward his mother. I'm right behind him, my heart pounding. Mom, what are you doing here? Marcus demands, keeping his voice low so he doesn't cause a scene. Patricia's face breaks into a fake smile. Marcus, Rebecca, what a wonderful surprise. I'm volunteering today. Miss Emily invited me. She gestures to the young teacher who looks confused by the tension. No one invited you, I say firmly. You need to leave. Now. Oh, don't be dramatic, Rebecca. I'm just here to help with the celebration. I even brought homemade cookies. She holds up the plate, which is piled with chocolate chip cookies that look delicious. What's in the cookies? I ask, though I already know the answer. Just the usual. Flour, sugar, butter, chocolate chips. She pauses meaningfully, and almond flour for texture. My blood runs cold. You brought cookies with tree nuts to a nut-free facility where my son is enrolled? They're just cookies, Rebecca, and they're nowhere near Tyler. Look, he's fine. She gestures to Tyler in my arms, who is obliviously chewing on his fist. Miss Kelly has noticed the commotion and comes over. Is everything all right? This woman brought cookies with tree nuts into your facility. I tell her, trying to keep my voice steady. Her name is Patricia Chen, and she's my husband's estranged mother. She's not supposed to be here, and she knows my son has a life-threatening tree nut allergy. Miss Kelly's expression shifts from confusion to horror to anger in about 3 seconds. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to leave immediately. This is a nut-free facility, and those cookies are a serious safety violation. Emily, she calls across the room. Did you authorize this visitor? Miss Emily comes over, looking flustered. She said she was Tyler Chen's grandmother and that she had permission to volunteer today. She showed me a text message conversation with Rebecca approving it. I never texted her, I say. I've had her blocked since November. She must have faked it somehow. Patricia's facade is starting to crack. I'm Tyler's grandmother. I have a right to be at his school events. You have no rights here, Marcus says, his voice shaking with controlled rage. You're trespassing. You violated the facility's safety facility policies and you deliberately brought something that could kill our son. We're calling the police." "Oh, you're going to call the police on your own mother?" Patricia's voice rises, her true colors showing. "I'm trying to help Tyler. He needs to build immunity. You're keeping him weak and sickly by coddling him." The room has gone completely silent. Every parent is staring. Some are pulling their children closer. Miss Kelly steps forward, positioning herself between Patricia and the children. "Ma'am, I'm asking you to leave now, or I will call the police myself. You are in violation of our facility policies and you are causing a disturbance." Patricia looks around at all the faces staring at her. For a moment, I think she might actually attack someone. Her face is red, her hands are clenched into fists, and there's a wild look in her eyes. Then she throws the plate of cookies on the floor. They shatter everywhere, chocolate chips and crumbs scattering across the tiles. "Fine!" she screams. "But this isn't over. I will get my grandson away from you people, you're unfit parents, and everyone is going to see it." She storms out, slamming the door so hard that some of the paper snowflakes fall off the walls. The room stays silent for a long moment. Then Tyler, oblivious to the drama, laughs and claps his hands. Miss Kelly turns to us, her professional demeanor back in place but her hands shaking slightly. "I am so sorry. We will be reviewing our visitor protocols immediately. This should never have happened." "It's not your fault," I assure her, even though I'm furious that Patricia got in at all. She's not well." Marcus is already on his phone calling the police. I rock Tyler, trying to calm my own racing heart. The police arrive about 15 minutes later. We give a statement about Patricia's history, the almond incident, the fake Facebook profile, the CPS report, and now this. The officers take notes and say they'll file a report, but without a restraining order, there's not much they can do about her showing up at a public event. She had cookies with tree nuts at a nut-free daycare, I argue. That's endangering children. "We understand, ma'am, but she didn't force anyone to eat them, and she left when asked. We can include it in our report, but you really need to file for a restraining order if you want legal protection." After the police leave, the daycare director, Mrs. Helen Park, age 52, has run Little Sprouts for 18 years, calls an emergency meeting with Marcus and me. "I want you to know that we take full responsibility for this security breach," she says. "Emily is new. She started just 3 weeks ago, and she didn't follow proper visitor verification protocols. We've terminated her employment effective immediately." "Wait, you fired her?" I'm shocked. I didn't want someone to lose their job over this. We can't have teachers who don't follow safety protocols, especially regarding allergies, Mrs. Park says firmly. If one of those cookies had been given to Tyler or another child with allergies, we could be looking at a dead child. I won't risk that. She continues, "We're also implementing new policies. All visitors must present photo ID that will be scanned into our system. Anyone wishing to volunteer must complete a background check and attend a 2-hour safety training. We're installing a keypad lock on the entrance that requires a code to enter. And we're adding Patricia Chen's photo to a banned list that all staff will be trained to recognize." I feel a little bit of relief, but I'm also worried. What if she tries to pretend to be someone else again? She dyed her hair for today. We almost didn't recognize her. Then we call the police immediately for criminal trespassing. Mrs. Park says, "I promise you, we will do everything in our power to keep Tyler safe here." That evening, Marcus and I have a long talk after Tyler goes to bed. "Ordo, we have to file for the restraining order," he says. "My mom is escalating. What if next time she doesn't just bring cookies? What if she tries to physically take Tyler?" I nod, pulling my knees up to my chest on the couch. "I'm scared, Marcus. I'm scared of what she'll do next. She seems unhinged." "I know." He puts his arm around me. "I never thought my own mother would become a threat to our family, but that's what she is now, a threat. And we have to treat her like one." The next day, December 22nd, we meet with Diana Rodriguez in person at her office in Portland. We bring everything, every piece of documentation we've collected over the past 2 months. Diana reviews it all carefully, taking notes. "Okay," she says finally, "you have a strong case for a protection from harassment order. In Maine, that's the equivalent of a restraining order. The cookies incident at the daycare combined with the almond exposure, the fake identity, and the pattern of harassment should be enough." What will the order do? I ask. If granted, it will legally prohibit Patricia from contacting you, Marcus, or Tyler in any way. She can't call, text, email, or show up anywhere you are. If she violates it, she can be arrested. How long does the process take? Marcus asks. We can file tomorrow. There will be a hearing, probably in early January. You'll need to testify about everything she's done. She'll have a chance to defend herself. Then a judge will decide. Will it work? I ask. Diana looks at me seriously. I can't guarantee anything, but based on what you've shown me, especially the deliberate exposure to allergens, I think you have a very good chance. We leave her office with a plan, spend the next week preparing our testimony and gathering any additional evidence, file the petition right after Christmas, prepare for a fight. Because we know Patricia won't go down without one. Christmas 2023 is supposed to be Tyler's first real Christmas. At 10 months old, he's finally at an age where he can enjoy the lights and the presents and the excitement. I've spent weeks preparing, decorating the house with white lights and silver ornaments, buying Tyler Christmas outfits, including the most adorable Santa hat that keeps falling over his eyes, picking out presents that are age-appropriate and safe. But instead of feeling joyful, I'm constantly anxious. Every car that drives past our house makes me jump. Every phone notification makes my heart race. I keep imagining Patricia showing up at our door, or worse, breaking in while we're asleep. Marcus installed new locks on all our doors and windows. We added a Ring doorbell camera and security cameras covering our driveway and backyard. Our house is basically Fort Knox at this point. On Christmas Eve, December 24th, 2023, we decide to stay home, just the three of us. Marcus's sister Lisa invited us to her house in Augusta, but it's a 2-hour drive, and I don't want to be that far from home base. I don't feel safe anywhere except our own house with all our security measures. We spend the evening watching Christmas movies. Well, Marcus and I watch. Tyler mostly tries to eat the wrapping paper we're using to wrap his gifts. We make dinner together, honey glazed ham, safe for Tyler, roasted vegetables, and homemade apple pie. For Tyler, I've prepared pureed sweet potato and turkey, both thoroughly tested and confirmed safe. Around 8 p.m., we're sitting in the living room. Tyler is in his play yard, surrounded by toys, babbling happily to himself. Marcus and I are on the couch, enjoying the peaceful moment, when the doorbell rings. We both freeze. It's 8:07 p.m. on Christmas Eve. We're not expecting anyone. Marcus pulls up the Ring camera on his phone. On the screen, we can see someone standing on our porch, a woman in a long, dark coat with a hood up, holding a wrapped present. Is that... I whisper. Marcus zooms in on the camera feed. Even with the hood, we can see her face. It's Patricia. Don't answer it, I say immediately. Just don't answer. I'm calling the police, Marcus says, already dialing. On the camera, Patricia rings the doorbell again. Then she knocks. Then she pounds on the door. Marcus, Rebecca, I know you're home. I can see the lights on. Please, it's Christmas. Let me see my grandson. Her voice is muffled, but we can hear her through the door. Tyler, startled by the noise, starts to whimper. I scoop him up, holding him close. Shh, baby, it's okay. Mama's got you. Patricia is still pounding. You can't keep me from my own grandchild. It's Christmas. What kind of people are you? Marcus is talking to the 911 dispatcher. Yes, we have someone on our property who we've asked to stay away. Patricia Chen, C-H-E-N. She's become increasingly unstable. There's an ongoing issue with her endangering our infant son. No, we don't have a restraining order yet, but we're filing after the holiday. On the camera, Patricia tries the door handle. When she finds it locked, she starts kicking the door. I have rights, she screams. I'm his grandmother. You're keeping him prisoner. Tyler is full-on crying now, scared by the noise and sensing my fear. I take him into his nursery, the room furthest from the front door, and turn on his sound machine to drown out Patricia's shouting. The police arrive 12 minutes later. I watch through the camera feed as 2 officers approach Patricia, who is now sitting on our porch steps, crying. The officers talk to her for several minutes. She's gesturing wildly, pointing at our house, clearly telling them her side of the story. One officer comes to our door and we let him in. After checking his badge through the door camera, Officer James Mitchell, badge number 847, is in his mid-30s with kind eyes. Mr. and Mrs. Chen, I understand there's been an ongoing issue with your mother? He asks Marcus. We spend the next 20 minutes explaining everything. And I mean everything. The wedding warning, the almond incident, the fake Facebook profile, the daycare cookies. I show him photos of Tyler's hives from the allergic reaction. Marcus shows him the text messages Patricia sent before we blocked her. And you're filing for a protection order? Officer Mitchell asks. Yes, right after Christmas. We have a lawyer and everything's ready to file. He nods. I'll include that in my report. For now, I'm going to ask her to leave. If she comes back tonight, call us immediately and we'll arrest her for trespassing. But I want to be honest with you. Without a restraining order, there's limited legal action we can take. She technically didn't break any laws just by coming to your door, even though it's clearly harassment. After he leaves, Marcus and I watch through the camera as Officer Mitchell talks to Patricia again. She's still crying, but eventually gets in her car and drives away. We don't sleep well that night. Every sound makes us jump. I keep Tyler in our bedroom in his pack-and-play instead of his crib, too afraid to have him down the hall. Christmas Day itself is quieter. We try to make it special for Tyler. He opens presents. Mostly we open them while he plays with the wrapping paper. We take a million photos. We FaceTime with Lisa and her family and with Donald. But the joy is overshadowed by what happened the night before. We're prisoners in our own home, afraid to even go outside. On December 26th, a Tuesday, Diana Rodriguez's office is open for a half day. We drive there with all our documentation, including the police report from Christmas Eve. This actually helps your case, Diana says, reading the report. It shows a pattern of escalation and disregard for boundaries. Let's file today. We spend 3 hours in her office going over every detail of our petition. When we're done, it's comprehensive. 8 pages of incidents, dates, witnesses, medical records, police reports, everything. Diana files it electronically that afternoon. The court will schedule a hearing, probably in the first or second week of January. You'll both need to testify. Patricia will be served with the petition and will have a chance to respond. Are you prepared for that? What do you mean? I ask. She's going to fight this, and her defense will likely involve attacking your parenting, claiming you're overreacting or being vindictive. You need to be ready for her to say awful things about you in court. Marcus takes my hand. We're ready. Whatever she says, we have the truth on our side. The petition is served to Patricia on December 28th. We know because at 9:47 p.m. that night, she creates a new Facebook account, her 4th one that we know of, and posts a long public rant. My son and his wife have filed false legal papers against me trying to keep me from my grandson. I am a loving grandmother who has done nothing but try to help my grandchild with his so-called allergies. The mother is mentally unstable and has convinced my son that I'm a threat. I'm asking for prayers and support as I fight this injustice. No grandmother should be kept from her grandchild, especially at Christmas. Grandparents. Rights. Family first. The post has 73 likes and 114 comments from her friends, most of them supportive and calling us terrible people. Several people tag Marcus in comments calling him a terrible son. Someone calls me a manipulative witch who stole Patricia's boy. We screenshot everything and send it to Diana. This helps too, she replies via email. It shows she's trying to create a narrative to garner sympathy and potentially influence witnesses. Keep documenting everything. On December 30th, we received notice of our hearing date, January 9th, 2024 at 2:00 p.m. at Cumberland County Courthouse. I have 10 days to prepare myself to face Patricia in court, 10 days to get ready to relive every terrifying moment, 10 days to worry about what she'll say about us, about me. I throw myself into preparation. Diana helps me write out my testimony, practicing how to stay calm under cross-examination, how to focus on facts instead of emotions, even though this is incredibly emotional, how to present myself as a credible, competent parent. Marcus does the same. We prepare together every evening after Tyler goes to bed, going over and over our timeline of events, making sure we have every detail right. On January 5th, 2024, something unexpected happens. Donald Chen, Marcus's father, calls us. "I want to testify on your behalf," he says. "I was married to Patricia for 22 years. I know exactly what she's capable of. I know her patterns, and I think a judge needs to hear from someone who lived with her that you're not exaggerating." We're surprised, but grateful. Donald writes a detailed statement about Patricia's history of manipulation and control, about how she can't handle anyone disagreeing with her, about how she sees people as possessions rather than individuals. When Marcus was 7, Donald tells us during a phone call, he had a fear of dogs after being knocked over by a large dog at the park. Instead of helping him work through it gradually, Patricia forced him to pet every dog we encountered. She thought she was making him braver, but really she was traumatizing him more. It took years of therapy to undo the damage. This is news to Marcus, who had blocked out a lot of childhood memories. Lisa also agrees to testify about her own experiences with Patricia, undermining her parenting. By January 8th, the day before our hearing, we have the audience's gan us in our testimony. Medical records from Dr. Winters and Dr. Yang. Records from the almond incident. The sound tekarsate discuss gaunda the police report from the daycare incident. The police report from Christmas Eve. Screenshots of Patricia's Facebook posts and fake profiles. Donord on RTSA considers are rated Donald's resonance. Lisa's statement. Ansather all done a statement from Miss Kelly at the daycare. Are photos of our home security measures. My detailed daily journal of Tyler's care. We're as prepared as we can possibly be, but that night, I barely sleep. I keep playing out scenarios in my head. What if the judge doesn't believe us? What if Patricia's lawyer is better than ours? What if somehow she wins and gets access to Tyler? Marcus holds me as I cry at 3 a.m. "We're going to win," he whispers. "We have truth and evidence on our side. She just has lies and manipulation." I hope he's right. January 9th, 2024, the day that will determine whether we can legally keep Patricia away from Tyler. I dress carefully in a navy blue dress suit with a white blouse. Professional, conservative, motherly. Marcus wears a dark gray suit. We want to look like responsible parents, not vindictive young people trying to punish an elderly grandmother. Tyler stays with Lisa for the day. He's now 11 months old and happily babbling mama and dada constantly. I hate leaving him, but Diana advised against bringing him to court. "It can seem manipulative," she explained. "Let the evidence speak for itself." We arrive at Cumberland County Courthouse at 1:15 p.m., 45 minutes early. The courthouse is imposing, red brick with white columns built in 1905. Diana meets us in the lobby and walks us through what's going to happen. Remember, stick to the facts. Don't let yourself get emotional, even though I know this is incredibly emotional. Answer questions directly and concisely. Don't volunteer extra information. And whatever Patricia's lawyer says about you, don't react. That's what they know. They want you to seem unstable or overreactive. At 1:50 p.m., we enter the courtroom. It's smaller than I expected, with wood paneling and fluorescent lights that give everything a slightly surreal quality. There are rows of benches, like church pews, and a raised platform at the front where the judge will sit. Patricia is already there with her lawyer. She's wearing a cream-colored dress suit and pearls, her hair perfectly styled. She looks like everyone's sweet grandmother. It's a stark contrast to the screaming woman who pounded on our door on Christmas Eve. Her lawyer is Brian Caldwell, a man in his mid-50s who apparently specializes in grandparents' rights cases. Diana warned us about him. He's good at making parents look unreasonable and grandparents look like victims. Patricia doesn't look at us as we sit down, but I can feel the tension radiating from her across the courtroom. At 2:03 p.m., Judge Monica Stevens enters. She's a black woman in her early 60s with gray hair and an air of no-nonsense authority. Everyone stands. Please be seated, Judge Stevens says, settling behind the bench. We're here for a petition for protection from harassment filed by Rebecca Martinez Chen and Marcus Chen against Patricia Chen. Let's proceed. Diana stands. Your Honor, I'm Diana Rodriguez representing the petitioners. We're asking for a protection order on behalf of my clients and their 11-month-old son, Tyler Chen, based on a pattern of dangerous and harassing behavior by the respondent. She lays out our case methodically, presenting each piece of evidence. As she talks, I watch Judge Stevens's face. She's listening carefully, occasionally taking notes. Then it's our turn to testify. Marcus goes first. He walks through our relationship with Patricia from the beginning, the wedding confrontation, how we tried to include her in Tyler's life, how we immediately informed her of his allergies and provided detailed information about how to keep him safe. Then he describes the almond incident. His voice stays steady, but I can hear the anger underneath. My mother gave my 7-month-old son a granola bar containing almonds, cashews, and pecans, despite knowing he has a life-threatening tree nut allergy. When my wife discovered this and used an EpiPen to save Tyler's life, my mother told her she was being ridiculous and that Tyler just had a little rash. Brian Caldwell, Patricia's lawyer, objects. Hearsay, Your Honor. Under bira de seskinakande. Overruled, Judge Stevens says. This is his direct testimony about statements made to his wife, which he has personal knowledge of through their marital communications. Marcus continues, describing the CPS report, the fake Facebook profile, the daycare incident Christmas Eve. For each incident, Diana presents the corresponding evidence. Then it's my turn. I'm shaking as I take the stand. I put my hands in my lap so no one can see them trembling. Diana walks me through my testimony. I start with the wedding. She told me I would never know Marcus like she did, and that he would always choose her over me, and continue through everything else. When I get to the almond incident, I have to stop and take a breath. I walked in, and Tyler's face was covered in hives. His skin was bright red. He was whimpering and scratching at his throat. Patricia was just washing dishes, like nothing was wrong. I asked what she'd given him, and she said some of my granola bar. I grabbed the wrapper, and it was full of tree nuts. I had to inject my baby with an EpiPen and rush him to the hospital. And what did Patricia say when you confronted her? Diana asks. She said I was being dramatic. She said it was just a little rash. She didn't seem to understand or care that she'd nearly killed him. Brian Caldwell's cross-examination is brutal. He tries to paint me as an overprotective, anxiety-ridden mother who is exaggerating Tyler's allergies. Mrs. Chen, you mentioned you've been diagnosed with anxiety. Is that correct? Yes, I experienced some postpartum anxiety, which is very common. I saw a therapist and it's well managed now. And isn't it true that anxiety can cause paranoia? Diana objects. Relevance, Your Honor. Mr. Caldwell, get to your point, Judge Stevens says. Your Honor, I'm trying to establish that Mrs. Chen's perception of events may be colored by her mental health issues. My anxiety has nothing to do with the fact that my mother-in-law deliberately gave my son allergens that could have killed him, I say firmly. The hospital records prove he had a severe allergic reaction. His allergist's diagnosis proves he has life-threatening allergies. These are facts, not paranoia. Caldwell tries another angle. Mrs. Chen, you've stated that you want to protect Tyler from danger. Isn't it true that you've isolated him from his entire extended family, not just Patricia? That's not true. Tyler sees Marcus's father regularly. He sees Marcus's sister and her children. He has a relationship with his aunt and uncle in Seattle via video calls. The only person he doesn't see is Patricia, and that's because she's a danger to him. A danger? Isn't that a bit dramatic? Mrs. Patricia Chen is a 63-year-old grandmother who raised 3 successful children. She gave my 7-month-old son tree nuts knowing he could die from exposure, I repeat slowly. She filed a false CPS report. She created fake social media profiles to spy on us and spread lies about us. She brought nut products to his daycare. She came to our home on Christmas Eve after being told to stay away and pounded on our door screaming. If that's not dangerous behavior, I don't know what is. After my testimony, we present our witnesses. Donald testifies via video call from his winter home in Florida. He's calm and measured, describing Patricia's need for control and her history of undermining people who don't do exactly what she wants. When Marcus was growing up, Patricia made all his decisions. Donald says, what activities he did, what he wore, who he spent time with. When he started developing his own opinions as a teenager, she couldn't handle it. She would sabotage his friendships, intercept his mail, even cancel college applications she didn't approve of. The marriage ended partly because I finally stood up to her behavior, and she couldn't tolerate that either. Lisa testifies in person about her own experiences. My mother constantly undermined my parenting choices. She would give my daughters candy I'd said they couldn't have, let them stay up past their bedtimes, tell them I was being mean when I enforced rules. Eventually, I had to set very firm boundaries. For about 3 years, she could only see my girls with me, present at all times. Why did you restrict her access? Diana asks. Because I couldn't trust her to respect my parenting decisions, and I was afraid she would turn my daughters against me. Lisa pauses. I see her doing the exact same thing to Rebecca and Marcus now, but worse. Tyler's situation is life-threatening. My mother doesn't just undermine, she endangers. Finally, we play the surveillance video from our Ring camera on Christmas Eve. The entire courtroom watches Patricia pounding on our door, shouting, trying the handle, sitting on the steps crying dramatically. Judge Stevens' expression doesn't change, but I notice she writes several notes. Then it's Patricia's turn. Her lawyer calls her to the stand. She's dabbing at her eyes with a tissue before she even sits down. Patricia, can you describe your relationship with your grandson, Tyler? Caldwell begins. I love him so much, she says, her voice breaking. I just want to be part of his life. I never meant to hurt him. I made a mistake with the granola bar. I forgot about his allergies in the moment. I feel terrible about it. Forgot? Diana says under her breath next to me. I'd told her repeatedly about the allergies 30 minutes before leaving Tyler with her. Patricia, do you believe Tyler has real allergies? Caldwell asks. She hesitates, and I can see her trying to figure out the right answer. I think allergies are often overdiagnosed these days, but I understand that Rebecca believes he does, and I should have respected that. Should have? Judge Stevens interjects. Are you saying you now do respect it? Patricia looks flustered. Yes, of course. I would never intentionally hurt Tyler. But you brought cookies with tree nuts to his daycare, Judge Stevens points out, looking at the evidence. I thought they were peanut butter cookies. I didn't realize the ingredient list clearly states almond flour, Diana says, standing. Your Honor, we have the wrapper in evidence. Patricia's composure is starting to crack. I just wanted to do something nice. Rebecca has poisoned my son against me. She's kept me from my grandson for no reason. You nearly killed him, Marcus says loudly from our table. That's the reason. Mr. Chen, please don't speak out of turn, Judge Stevens says, but her tone isn't harsh. Caldwell tries to redirect. Patricia, can you explain the incident at the daycare? I went to the Christmas celebration because I wanted to see Tyler. I miss him so much. I dyed my hair because I knew Rebecca might recognize me and cause a scene. I just wanted to see my grandson happy at Christmas. And the cookies? I brought them to share with everyone. You didn't think that bringing tree nut products to a nut-free facility where your allergic grandson was present might be dangerous? Diana asks during her cross-examination. I wasn't thinking about that. I was just excited to see Tyler. What about Christmas Eve? Why did you go to their home after being told multiple times to stay away? It was Christmas. Family should be together at Christmas. Even when you're not welcome? Even when you've been told your presence endangers their child? Patricia's tears are flowing now, but they seem calculated. They're keeping my grandson prisoner. I have rights. What rights, specifically? Diana presses. Grandparents' rights. In Maine, grandparents can petition for visitation. That's typically only when there's an established relationship or when a parent is deceased or deemed unfit. Do you believe Marcus and Rebecca are unfit parents? Rebecca is unstable. She has anxiety. She's overprotective. Tyler needs exposure to build his immune system. Exposure to what? Tree nuts? The very thing that could kill him? Diana's voice is sharp. I just think if he was exposed in small amounts. Where did you get that idea? What medical professional told you that exposure therapy works for severe tree nut allergies in infants? Patricia has no answer. The cross-examination continues for another 20 minutes. Caldwell tries to object repeatedly, but Judge Stevens allows most of Diana's questions. By the end, Patricia looks angry more than sad, her true nature showing through. Finally, both sides rest their cases. Judge Stevens takes a short recess to review all the evidence. Those 15 minutes are the longest of my life. Marcus holds my hand so tightly I lose circulation in my fingers. Diana assures us it went well, but I can't tell. What if the judge thinks we're being overprotective? What if she believes Patricia's tears? At 4:37 p.m., Judge Stevens returns. I've reviewed all testimony and evidence, she begins. This is a difficult case because it involves family relationships, which I don't take lightly. However, my primary concern must be the safety and welfare of the child in question. Patricia Chen, you have repeatedly demonstrated a pattern of disregarding serious medical advice, violating established boundaries, engaging in deceptive behavior, and showing a fundamental lack of understanding or respect for the severity of Tyler's allergies. The evidence shows that you gave Tyler allergens that resulted in an emergency room visit. You then filed what appears to be a retaliatory and false CPS report. You created fake social media profiles to spy on the petitioners. You violated a daycare facility's safety policies by bringing tree nut products to an event. And you came to the petitioner's home on Christmas Eve, despite being told repeatedly to stay away. Most concerning to this court is your testimony today. You still seem to believe that Tyler's allergies are exaggerated or that exposure might cure him. This demonstrates a dangerous level of denial that puts Tyler at serious risk. My heart is racing. Please, please, please. Therefore, I am granting the protection from harassment order. Patricia Chen is prohibited from contacting Rebecca Martinez Chen, Marcus Chen, or Tyler Chen directly or indirectly. She is to stay at least 300 feet away from their home, workplace, and any location where she knows they will be present. This order will remain in effect for 2 years, at which point either party may petition for modification or extension. I burst into tears. Marcus wraps his arms around me. We did it. We actually did it. Patricia Chen, Judge Stevens continues, if you violate this order in any way, you will be arrested and charged with contempt of court. Do you understand? Patricia is shaking with rage. This is wrong. This is so wrong. I'll appeal. You have that right, Judge Stevens says, but until and unless this order is overturned, you will abide by it. This hearing is adjourned. As we leave the courtroom, Patricia tries to approach Marcus. Marcus, please, I'm your mother. You need to stay back, Diana says firmly, stepping between them. The order is in effect immediately. Patricia's lawyer pulls her away, talking to her in urgent whispers. We walk out of the courthouse into the cold January air. The sun is setting, painting the sky orange and pink. We won, I say, still not quite believing it. We won, Marcus confirms, kissing my forehead. She can't hurt Tyler anymore. But even as we celebrate our victory, I know this isn't really over. Patricia isn't the type to give up. She'll find a way to make our lives difficult even from 300 feet away. I'm right about that. The week after the hearing is surreal. We finally feel like we can breathe, like we're not constantly looking over our shoulders waiting for Patricia to appear. Tyler seems happier too, even though at 11 months old he can't possibly understand what happened. But I think he picks up on our energy, and we're finally relaxed around him instead of being tense and hypervigilant all the time. Marcus goes back to working regular hours at the office. I restart my therapy appointments. I'd canceled them during all the court drama. Tyler thrives at daycare with the new security protocols in place. But Patricia doesn't go quietly. On January 14th, 5 days after the hearing, I get a call from Detective Raymond Cooper with the Portland Police Department. Mrs. Chen, I'm calling about a complaint filed against you and your husband by Patricia Chen. She claims you've been harassing her via social media and making threatening phone calls. My stomach drops. That's completely false. We haven't contacted her at all. We have a restraining order against her. I understand. I'm just calling to get your side of things. Have you or your husband been in contact with Patricia Chen since January 9th? Absolutely not. We blocked her on everything months ago. We want nothing to do with her. Detective Cooper sounds like he believes me. Can you provide any evidence of that? Screenshots of blocked numbers, that sort of thing. I send him everything. Screenshots showing Patricia's number has been blocked since November. Our social media settings showing she's blocked on all platforms. Our phone records showing no outgoing calls to her number. So this is helpful, Detective Cooper says when we speak again an hour later. Between you and me, I don't think her complaint has merit, but I had to follow up. I'd recommend you document everything for the next few weeks. Every time you're home, keep a log of what you're doing. If she tries to claim you violated the protection order, you'll have proof you didn't. So I start another log. This one documents our daily activities with timestamps. 7:40 a.m. Home, making breakfast for Tyler. 8:30 a.m. Dropped Tyler at daycare. Chatter Arsa Dai Ensel Jai. 9:00 a.m. 11 a.m. Home, cleaning and meal prep. Sunse 11 a.m. 12:30 p.m. Grocery shopping at Hannaford on Route 1. On 12:30 p.m. 3:00 p.m. Home, Tyler's lunch and nap. 3:00 p.m. Picked Tyler up from daycare. Darti das and Seans Donans. 30 p.m., 6 p.m., home, playtime, and dinner prep, and so on. It's tedious, but I'm not taking any chances. On January 18th, Marcus's sister Lisa calls with concerning news. Mom's been telling everyone you guys abused the court system and that the judge was biased. She's painting herself as a victim who lost her grandson because of a vindictive daughter-in-law. Great, I sigh. Let her. As long as she stays away from us, she can say whatever she wants. There's more, Lisa says. She's been asking my daughters about Tyler, what he's eating, where he goes to daycare, stuff like that. I shut it down immediately, but I wanted you to know. This worries me more. She's trying to get information from them? It seems like it. I've told Emma and Sophie not to discuss Tyler with Grandma anymore. They're teenagers, so they understand why. Thank you for telling us. Marcus says, we're on speakerphone. Can you let us know if she tries again? Of course. We report this to Diana, who sends a letter to Patricia's lawyer reminding her that trying to get information about Tyler through third parties could be considered a violation of the protection order. On January 22nd, I get a Facebook friend request from someone named Amy Richardson. The profile is brand new, created that day, with a stock photo of a woman with a baby. The profile lists her as living in South Portland and interested in parenting, healthy living, and allergy awareness. Every alarm bell in my head goes off. This is Patricia. I'm sure of it. I screenshot the request and send it to our lawyer and the police detective, then block it without responding. 2 days later, another request comes through from Jennifer Kim. Same thing. New profile, stock photo, interests in parenting and allergies. Block. Screenshot. Report. Then Sarah Mitchell, then Laura Torres, then Hannah Murphy. Patricia is creating fake profiles faster than I can block them. It's like whack-a-mole, but with Facebook accounts. This is harassment, Diana says when I show her the screenshots of all 7 fake profiles. We need to document this for a potential violation hearing. On February 1st, 2024, Tyler turns 1 year old. It's a milestone I wasn't sure we'd reach without incident, given everything with Patricia. We have a small party at our house, just Lisa's family, Donald, who flew up from Florida, a couple of our close friends, and 3 families from Tyler's daycare class. About 20 people totals. The theme is woodland creatures, because Tyler is obsessed with a stuffed fox I got him. Everything is nut-free, dairy-free, egg-free, and soy-free. I made sure of it. I baked Tyler's birthday cake myself using safe ingredients, a vanilla cake with dairy-free frosting shaped like a fox. Tyler loves it. He's walking now, has been since last week, and toddles around showing everyone his toys. When we sing Happy Birthday, he claps along and tries to blow out his candle. We help him. It's perfect. It's everything I wanted his first birthday to be. But I can't fully relax. I keep checking our security cameras, watching for Patricia's car. Marcus catches me doing it during cake time. She's not coming, he says quietly. She can't, and if she does, we call the police immediately. Try to enjoy this, Becca. He's right. I put my phone away and focus on Tyler, who is now trying to eat wrapping paper again. Some things never change. After everyone leaves and Tyler is in bed, Marcus and I collapse on the couch. We did it, I say. We survived the first year. And it's only going to get better, Marcus promises. But on February 5th, I get a letter in the mail that proves Patricia isn't done yet. It's from a law firm in Boston. Not Brian Caldwell, but someone new. The letter informs us that Patricia Chen is suing us for grandparent visitation rights in family court, separate from the protection order. Can she do that? I ask Diana frantically on the phone. Unfortunately, yes. The protection order prevents her from contacting you, but it doesn't prevent her from filing legal motions. Maine does have grandparent visitation laws, though the standards are pretty high. She'd need to prove that visitation is in Tyler's best interests, and that denying it harms him. But she almost killed him. I know, and we'll present all that evidence again, but this is going to be another court battle, probably 6 months out. I'm sorry. I hang up feeling defeated. Will this never end? The next few weeks are a blur of paperwork as Diana prepares our response to Patricia's lawsuit. We have to relive everything again, gathering evidence, writing statements, preparing testimony. In the meantime, life goes on. Tyler continues to thrive. He says no constantly now, his favorite word, loves reading books, and has recently discovered he can throw food from his high chair, which he finds hilarious and I find exhausting. His allergies are being managed well. We're working with Dr. Winters on carefully introducing new foods, and so far he's handled everything we've tried, except nuts, dairy, eggs, and soy, obviously. His eczema has cleared up significantly with dietary changes and prescription cream. On March 8th, 2024, Tyler's original first birthday, we have a quiet day, just the 3 of us. We take him to the beach in Old Orchard, even though it's still cold. He's delighted by the sand and waves, giggling every time the water touches his toes. This is what it should be like, I tell Marcus as we watch Tyler play. Just us enjoying our son, not fighting legal battles. So soon, Marcus says. Once we get through this visitation case, it'll be over. But I'm not so sure. Patricia seems determined to make our lives miserable, even if she can't see Tyler. On March 15th, we receive notice that the visitation hearing is scheduled for August 12th, 2024, 5 months away. 5 more months of stress and anxiety. 5 more months of worrying what Patricia will try next. But we've come this far. We've protected Tyler from someone who should have loved him, but instead endangered him. We've navigated the legal system and won. We can do it again. The months leading up to the August hearing are surprisingly quiet. Patricia doesn't violate the restraining order. There are no more fake Facebook profiles, no more suspicious incidents. It's almost more unsettling than when she was actively harassing us. She's playing the long game game, Diana warns. She's being on her absolute best behavior so she can tell the judge she's reformed and deserves visitation. Tyler, meanwhile, is growing up fast. By August 2024, he's 17 months old. He's talking in 2- and 3-word sentences. More juice. Read book. Where's Daddy? He's obsessed with trucks and dinosaurs. He still has his allergies, but we're managing them well with the help of Dr. Winters. He has no memory of Patricia. To him, she doesn't exist. The visitation hearing on August 12th is similar to the protection order hearing, but the standards are different. Patricia has to prove that. 1. She has a substantial relationship with Tyler. She doesn't. 2. Visitation is in Tyler's best interests. It's not. 3. Denial of visitation would harm Tyler. It wouldn't. Diana presents our case first. She shows that Tyler has thrived without Patricia in his life. His medical records show improved health. His daycare reports show positive development. Photos and videos show a happy, healthy toddler. She presents evidence that Patricia still doesn't take Tyler's allergies seriously. Social media posts Patricia made questioning the allergy epidemic and suggesting children need more exposure to develop strong immune systems. She presents testimony from Dr. Winters. In my professional opinion, allowing Patricia Chen unsupervised access to Tyler would put his life in danger. She has demonstrated repeatedly that she does not understand or respect the severity of his allergies. Patricia's lawyer argues that she's learned her lesson and just wants supervised visits. He presents character witnesses, people from Patricia's book club and church who testify that she's a kind, loving grandmother. But Diana's cross-examination is brutal. Did Patricia tell you she gave her grandson a food that nearly killed him? Well, no, but did she mention she brought tree nut products to his nut-free daycare? She said it was a misunderstanding. Did she explain why she has a restraining order against her? She said her daughter-in-law was vindictive. None of the character witnesses have the full story. They only know Patricia's version, that she's a wronged grandmother being kept from her beloved grandchild. The hearing lasts 6 hours. By the end, I'm exhausted. Judge Stevens, the same judge from the protection order hearing, takes a week to make her decision. On August 19, 2024, we receive the ruling. Having reviewed all evidence and testimony, this court finds that petitioner Patricia Chen has failed to demonstrate that visitation with the minor child Tyler Chen is in his best interests. The court notes that 1. There is no established relationship between Patricia Chen and Tyler Chen. Tyler has no memory of his grandmother and has developed normally without her presence. 2. Patricia Chen has repeatedly demonstrated poor judgment regarding Tyler's life-threatening allergies, including a documented incident that resulted in emergency medical treatment. 3. Patricia Chen continues to express skepticism about the severity of Tyler's medical conditions, as evidenced by social media posts and testimony. 4. Medical professionals have opined that contact with Patricia Chen would pose a danger to Tyler's health and safety. Accordingly, the petition for grandparent visitation is denied. This decision may be appealed within 30 days. We win. Again. I cry in Marcus's arms for 30 minutes straight. Not sad tears, but tears of relief. It's really over. Patricia doesn't appeal. Maybe she finally realizes she's lost. Maybe her lawyer told her she has no chance. Maybe she's just tired of fighting. Whatever the reason, she goes quiet. Days turn into weeks, turn into months. No violations of the restraining order. No new court filings. No fake social media profiles. Silence. Tyler continues to grow and develop. By his second birthday in March 2025, he's a vibrant, talkative, happy little boy who loves trucks, dinosaurs, and reading books with Mama and Daddy. He's still allergic to tree nuts, peanuts, dairy, eggs, and soy, but we've learned how to manage it. He understands no when we tell him certain foods aren't safe. He knows to ask, "Is it safe?" before eating anything. We've built a life, a good life, a safe life. And Patricia Chen is nothing more than a cautionary tale we'll someday have to explain to Tyler when he's old enough to understand. Why don't I have a grandmother like other kids? He might ask. And we'll tell him the truth. Because she made choices that meant we couldn't keep you safe around her. We will always choose your safety over everything else. Always. That's what being a parent means. Protecting your child, even when it's hard, even when it means cutting off family, even when it means endless court battles and sleepless nights and constant vigilance. We would do it all again in a heartbeat. Because Tyler is worth it. He's worth everything.